Good evening. Welcome to Friday's North West Tonight with me, Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story. A former Sergeant Major is jailed for sexually assaulting teenage soldier Jaisley Beck, who later took her own life.
What he did, and how the army failed to protect her afterwards, cost our daughter her life. I stand here as a bereaved mum, fighting for real change.
Also tonight, stepping back in time, Kay heads to the Isle of Man to visit one of the oldest open-air folk museums in the British Isles. The North Country Boys return. Indie veterans, the Charlatans, tell us all about their love-inspired new album. The magic of the Cup. Two of the region's lowest-ranked sides eye glory on the road to Wembley.
Weather-wise, things stay very unsettled over the next few days and into next week, but mild for the time of year. Join me later for the full forecast.
A former Army Sergeant Major has been jailed for 6 months after sexually assaulting a teenage soldier from Cumbria who later took her own life. 19-year-old Jaisley Beck from Oxon Park in the Lake District was found dead at her barracks 4 years ago. Her attacker, Warrant Officer Michael Webber, was sentenced today at a military court in Wiltshire, from where Will Glennon reports.
4 years after she died, today some justice for Jaisley Beck. The Royal Artillery gunner was found dead in her barracks at Lark Hill in December 2021. At military court in Bulford today, the former army officer who sexually assaulted her in the summer before her death was sent to prison for 6 months.
No sentence will ever be enough. While he serves his time, it's us who will live with a life sentence. What he did, and how the army failed to protect her afterwards, cost our daughter her life.
On a training course, Battery Sergeant Major Michael Webber had tried to kiss Jaisley and put his hand on her thigh. She then spent the night hiding in her car. Jaisley reported it, and the army made Michael Webber write a letter of apology. 5 months later, she'd taken her own life. At the inquest into Jaisley's death, the coroner said that the incident and the way the army dealt with it had more than minimally contributed to her death. Michael Webber left the army in August this year and pleaded guilty to sexual assault in September. His Honour, Judge Alan Large, said no sentence will bring back Jaisley, but he told Michael Webber that he was in a position of authority. The assault was an abuse of trust. He sentenced him to 6 months in prison, half in custody, the rest on licence, and he'll be on the sex offenders register for 7 years.
I'm disappointed that he's not got longer. I am very disappointed he's not been given longer, but this is the law, unfortunately. This is the system.
We are sorry we didn't listen to Jaisley when she first reported her assault. We are determined to make sure the same mistakes do not happen again.
But Jaisley's mother was not convinced by the army's response.
Since Jaisley's death, we have introduced a significant cultural reform programme alongside the Raising Our Standards programme. We are making improvements in how we train our people in appropriate behaviours. Work is ongoing to make lasting and effective change. Change that will give service personnel the confidence they need to report sexual offences and inappropriate behaviours, knowing that they will be listened to.
Your message to women or their parents when women are thinking of joining the forces, what would you say?
It's please don't. Until these changes are made, please don't. And I even have parents contacting me, thank you, Leanne, because of you, our daughter is now not joining.
Jaisley's family say this is just the beginning and their fight for change in the army will continue. Will Glennon, BBC North West Tonight, Wiltshire.
The Manchester synagogue attacker was repeatedly shot as he ran towards armed police carrying a knife, an inquest heard today. Jihad al-Shami was shot dead minutes after his attack at the Heaton Park synagogue on the 2nd of October. Two men, Adrian Dalby and Melvin Kravitz, were killed. Mairead Smith was at the hearing in Manchester this morning.
The attack on Heaton Park synagogue began at 9:30 in the morning. Minutes later, the suspect, Jihad al-Shami, was shot dead. The inquest into his death was opened earlier.
Today's hearing at Manchester Coroner's Court behind me lasted just over 15 minutes this morning, and during that time the court heard that 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami was shot by armed police 8 minutes after launching his car and knife attack on Heaton Park Synagogue in the Crumpsall area on the 2nd of October.
Al-Shami, a Syrian-born UK citizen, drove his Kia Picanto at security staff and the external gates of the synagogue as worshippers were gathering for Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year for Jews. Detective Chief Superintendent Lewis Hughes from Greater Manchester Police told the hearing that armed officers responding to the call discharged several rounds at Al-Shami as he ran towards them aggressively while carrying a knife and wearing what clearly presented as a suicide belt. Al-Shami wasn't pronounced dead until 7 hours later because of concerns about the belt on his body. 53-year-old Adrian Dalby and Melvin Kravitz, who was 66, were killed. Jihad al-Shami was identified at the scene by fingerprints and secondary evidence, including his mobile phone and car. Members of al-Shami's family attended the hearing via video link. The Chief Coroner for England and Wales, Judge Alexia Curran, adjourned the hearing until February next year. Mairead Smith, BBC North West Tonight, Manchester.
Tributes have been paid to Albert Kirby, the detective who led the investigation into the murder of toddler James Bulger, who's died at the age of 80. The former detective chief superintendent headed up the team whose work led to the conviction of 10-year-olds Robert Thompson and John Venables. They abducted the 2-year-old from a Bootle shopping centre in 1993. Mr. Kirby's family said he was an outstanding officer and a man of deep integrity and loyalty, views echoed by a former colleague.
He not only had to lead his team in order to secure the evidence, secure the conviction in time, but he also had to communicate with the public because he knew, Albert knew, that he needed the support of the public.
Police have caught 3 wolf-type animals which were roaming the streets of Preston. They were taken from Station Road to a place of safety. It's thought they might be Czechoslovakian wolf dogs, but the exact breed has not yet been confirmed. Now, some of you might have filled the rainy days this half-term by playing a board game or two. Scrabble, maybe, Monopoly. But school children in Liverpool have come up with one of their own. With the help of a university researcher, they have created a brand new game to help young people understand dementia. Stuart Pollitt has been to find out more.
Not again!
Enjoying their own creation, these children help develop Dementia Explorer.
It's been really cool, and then whenever I look at it, I'm like, I helped make that game. It was really incredible, and it was a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I'd say.
A lot of fun, but also very interesting because of what I've learned and the information I've gained. I think it's going to help people learn more about dementia.
The children helped University of Liverpool researchers to turn their original dementia game for adults into this child-friendly version. It was also tested with dementia patients.
It can be difficult for an adult to explain to their child, grandma, granddad, auntie, uncle has dementia. How do you explain it? It's not just the memory that goes, it's your behaviour, it's how you act, how you speak, how you sleep. So hopefully the game can be really engaging and a bit fun so that it's more normal and children then go back and say, oh, I want to know a bit more.
What should you do if someone with dementia keeps asking the same question? A, ignore them. B, answer it kindly again. C.
It's already helping Maria, one of the game's designers.
My grandma in Greece has dementia, and it's really I don't like it how when I come to her and she's all stuttering and I can't even, well, I am practicing how to learn Greek, but I can't even talk to her properly and it just makes me sad. So this board game is really good because the questions are helping me like learn a bit more about how I can talk to her and like communicate.
The children came up with a series of practical changes to the initial prototype of the game, which has now been adopted, among them replacing dice with this spinner here to make it easier for people with dementia to play this game.
Dice kept falling on the floor and they themselves found that annoying, but they also very insightfully thought that people with dementia, if they were playing themselves, might find that annoying and might forget where the dice had gone. In the initial game, it went in a zigzag and the children said it was quite long and by the end they were getting a bit fed up. So then they suggested making it into a square with different parts of the brain, which has actually then been included.
The game is available now and those who helped perfect it are already loving the results of their efforts. Stuart Pollitt, BBC North West Tonight, Liverpool.
Now, 2025 was a brilliant year if you were fans of classic 90s indie music. It's been the year, of course, when Oasis and Pulp made their comebacks. And today's been the turn of the Charlatans. After after a gap, that's what I meant to say, of 8 years, the band from Northwich released their 14th album. It's called We Are Love, and they'll soon be back on tour. Phil Cunliffe's been talking to Tim Burgess and bass player Martin Blunt.
What are your hopes and aspirations for the new album?
It's nothing like anything that we've done before, but it's exactly the same as what we've done before. It's a weird thing, isn't it? It's like, you know, you're creating a new song that has familiarity and sort of like threads of the past, but you're kind of weaving it into today and hopefully propelling us into the future.
It felt really good, all getting back together. It was an album that took a bit of time because we wanted to make it not just all right, but something that matters.
It's the first time I ever felt like this. I thought at times I had known pure bliss.
All the songs are exploratory of love and the ups, the downs, the turnarounds. 35 years in a band with people who you love, and even though it's just like a simple four-letter word, there's a lot to explore.
There seems to have been a renaissance for those bands in the 90s like Oasis, Blur, Pulp have reformed. Where do you think you fit into that right now? Because you've never split up, have you?
No,
You've kept going in all that time.
I'm really proud that we haven't split up. I went to see Oasis, we both did, didn't we, at Eaton Park and at Wembley, and it didn't feel that nostalgic in some ways. It just felt that it was a band at the top of the game playing really strong songs.
Back together with your ex-partner, it really. So, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And all of a sudden the plaster comes off and all the old wounds have reappeared.
Album number 14, when you started out, did you ever envisage that you would be getting to this point?
No, we were very much about living for the moment. We were recording our first single, Indian Rope, and it really felt like the dream. I never expected it to really get past the first album, I suppose.
Well, what happens next? I mean, you've obviously got the tour, but then...
Well, I'm just enjoying the moment, you know, just like the old days.
Yeah, still sounding brilliant, aren't they? The tour starts next month and that album is out today. Speaking of 2025, well, this was the year that we have spent exploring the Northwest, visiting people or places as recommended by you that showcase just how fantastic our region is. This week, Kay's been to Cregneash on the Isle of Man. It's one of the oldest open-air working folk museums in Britain, allowing visitors a snapshot look at what life might have been like in the 19th century.
Bore mai, Volteriw dus Cregneash, Bol Fair Ellen as Scanshoil und Ellenvannen. Good morning, welcome to Cregneash, a very beautiful place and an important place on the Isle of Man. This is Harry Kelly's cottage. Harry Kelly lived here from his birth in 1852 to his death in 1935. And this is how he left the house.
A thatched roof.
Thatched roof, of course. So we've got the bedroom through there, Harry's 4-poster bed.
Oh, wow.
This space is everything else. It's called the Taimur, the big room. Got the fire. It's a kitchen, living room for whatever else you need.
Cregneash is a working museum that shows visitors what life might have been like 200 years ago, helped by skilled volunteers.
Hi, Tony.
Good morning. Welcome to the forge.
Look at this.
This is a coke forge.
You volunteer here, don't you?
I do. I enjoy being a blacksmith. It's something I did when I was younger. I apprenticed under a master smith in the 1980s, and it's a valid skill today. You can still make things, not just for use, but for art. It's my happy place.
For the people that live here, it's more than a tourist destination. It's a way of life. Farm manager Pete Kelly took me to his favourite spot.
So important to the Manx people, not just on the island, but we're internationally, worldwide as well. It gives a baseline of the history. The whole place most of the place would have been like this, the ideas of this place. So it gives a baseline for the Manx language, Manx attitude, Manx culture, Manx customs.
Something innately Manx, which wasn't just in the 19th century, is the Manx cat. A gorgeous 4-legged friend with a bit of a difference.
You've got no tail. Where's his tail gone?
One without it.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Kay Crewdson, BBC, North West Tonight.
Right, let's move on to sport now. We'll talk FA Cup shortly, but before that, let's look at the Premier League, Ian, where Manchester United hoping for a 4th win in a row.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on the sofa, by the way.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Feels like old times. Feels like old times. Yeah, Man United, as you say, a prospect that seemed unthinkable just a few short weeks ago, really. They go to Nottingham Forest tomorrow afternoon, looking for another 3 points that could move them into the top 4.
It was tough. Was really tough. Good moments, bad moments. I learned a lot. That is really important. I found out that even in my lower moments, I can stick with the things that I believe, and that is a good thing in life to be here, and I want to continue here for many years.
I feel the same about my life at North West Tonight. There are many other talking points ahead of this weekend's fixtures. Can Burnley continue their good recent run at home to Premier League leaders Arsenal? Can Manchester City beat in-form Bournemouth? And can Liverpool somehow rediscover their form? The champions are currently down in 7th after 4 defeats in a row. They host Aston Villa tomorrow evening. Everton are at Sunderland on Monday night. Elsewhere, Blackburn Rovers and Preston North End are in Championship action, but there's no Leagues 1 or 2. That's because clubs are taking part in the FA Cup first round. And for our remaining non-league sides, it's a big deal. Macclesfield FC, who are now in the National League North after 3 promotions, welcome fellow Tier 6 club AFC Totton. Meanwhile, Buxton FC of the National League North also host Chatham Town, who play in the tier below. It's been a good first few months of the season for Buxton, currently 5th in National League North and into the FA Cup first round proper after victory over Runcorn Linnets earlier this month.
It's a well-renowned worldwide cup competition, so to be involved in it, fantastic. I've played in it, but to manage in it now and get to the first round proper is fantastic for us as a football team and football club.
What does a run like this mean to the club financially and stuff? Because I imagine you're going to get a decent crowd here at the weekend.
You got the prize money. The further we go into the competition, the more chances we'll be on telly. For a football club and for the community, it's excellent because it brings people together.
It certainly did 4 years ago as they made it to round 2, eventually losing to Morecambe. Well, Buxton have reached the first round for 3 of the last 5 years, so they know what it's all about by now. The furthest the club has been in its history is the FA Cup third round in 1952. Imagine if they could get to that stage again. Former Manchester City youth player Ty Sodji certainly wouldn't mind.
That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, when we've played the first game, it's kind of what we set our hopes on, and I think the way we've been playing, we're 9 or 10 unbeaten, so I think we're in probably the best position at the moment. To get into the second round would be massive for us and the club as well, so I think to get one of the bigger teams as well in that round would be amazing, obviously.
Also in first round action tomorrow, a fellow National League North side, Macclesfield FC, into the first round for the first time since forming in 2020 as a Phoenix club of Macclesfield Town.
Something that we've set out before the beginning of the season. We want a good cup run, and obviously we know our bread and butter is where we are in the league, but we wanted really to go on a good cup run and give the fans something in the FA Cup as well, which they haven't had for a while.
Obviously the fans are backing us week in, week out. They're massive to us, expecting 3,500 I believe on Saturday. So yeah, it's definitely on its way back up.
Crucial to Mac's success are the goals of Danny Elliott, who's one of the most prolific strikers outside of the EFL.
Back to Elliott, chance for him, sweeps it home.
Yeah, I think that we've had some good form recently. Hopefully we can just replicate it on Saturday. And then we were to get through the next round, going into that third round, obviously anybody's available, and if we could get a huge away draw, I think it would be the dream for everybody to be able to take that club on what would be an unforgettable day out.
Who's your club that you've grown up supporting?
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest, right. So if you got Forest in the third round?
Forest, Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, any of them.
We'll find out if Macclesfield and Buxton can make it through to round 2 tomorrow afternoon.
Danny's going for that third round, and here's a reminder that there's commentary and updates on your local radio station of all the games, while Tranmere v Stockport at 3 o'clock tomorrow and Gainsborough Trinity v our own Accrington Stanley is at 5:15 on Sunday, and they're also on BBC Sounds and your smart speaker. The gift of modern technology, hey. The Women's Super League is back with Manchester City, the first of our sides to play. They're at home to West Ham tomorrow, the rest play on Sunday. There's also a very important rugby league match tomorrow as England, with their strong Northwest contingent, take on Australia at Everton's Hill Dickinson Stadium. The Aussies were comprehensive winners in last week's first Ashes Test, which took place at Wembley.
Thank you, Ian. Are you going to be trick-or-treating tonight?
All the sweets are gone by now in Bolton.
Will they?
Yeah. I mean,
You'll just end up with the sort of apple or a 50p or something, won't you?
I know, it's going to look a bit
run
weird.
Out of things.
Yeah, I know, it's going to be a little bit weird, me with my bucket and my face paint on.
That's true.
Well,
yeah, don't do it.
I'll probably get arrested.
Thank you. We'll leave it there. As we said, today is Halloween, a time for all things macabre, scary and supernatural. We'll be showing some of the region's best Halloween houses in a few moments. But before we do, Jane McCubbin has been looking back to the 1970s and 80s. I remember them well, when terrifying public information films, unsettling TV shows and video nasties were scaring the living daylights out of kids.
As a child, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I seem to remember Jigsaw being particularly scary. Mr. Nosy Bomb, Doctor Who, that was terrifying.
Hello, Word Watchers.
Big responsibility, saving the universe every Saturday.
There was a kind of attitude that kids wouldn't be really that frightened of things.
John, we're through here, mate.
Actor John Thompson was raised on scares, and he's still hooked.
It's a bit of a rotten start, that.
He's on stage recording the Scarred for Life podcast, dedicated to the TV trauma of Gen X childhoods.
At weekends, between the banana splits and all the cartoons, terrifying public information films.
Properly terrifying.
Proper terrifying, but they did the job.
I am the spirit of dark and lonely water.
The warnings came in thick and fast. Farm accidents. Stranger danger.
He can look like just anybody.
And who can forget? Electric pylons.
If you were to put certificates on these things, really, they would be more like 15s.
And this is the little bit of time travel, isn't it? There's nowhere else like this, if you remember.
70s kids had to grow up fast, thanks to this, the VHS. Still alive here in Toxteth, in one of the UK's last video shops.
Margaret Thatcher cited the Toxteth riots as a part of the degradation of society that had come about because of the video nasties.
Because of
horror tapes at home, and now society's falling apart.
MPs watched horrors in Parliament.
These films not only affect young people, but I believe they affect adults as well.
Legislation soon enforced age limits, but the hammy effects of back then are finding a new audience now.
Like a real monster that somebody's built. It's on the set, it's with them, it's with the cast, and it's terrifying. I just feel like films today lack that.
Dark tales thrive in times of turmoil.
SOS, find the Daleks.
They did back then just as they do now.
It might be horrific, it might be scary, but at the time, it brought kind of a comfort to you. takes them back to a time when, you know, things weren't as bad.
Yesterday's nightmares, today's nostalgia. A safe thrill in an unsafe world.
Don't go into the cellar!
Don't have nightmares. Here's the weather now with Paul Mooney.
Good evening. Weather-wise, as we head through the weekend and into next week, things stay very unsettled. That means there will be some spells of wet and windy weather. There'll be some sunshine in between times, and it does stay mild for the time of year. Why is it so unsettled? Well, low pressure in charge. Big deep area of low pressure up to the northwest of the UK, bringing bands of showery rain today, and it continues to dominate as we head into the weekend. So not many showers around at first tonight if you're trick-or-treating, some dry weather to start with, but the next area of showery rain comes in from the west overnight. Some of that rain could be heavy, accompanied by strong, gusty southerly winds as well. Does add up to a mild night. Temperatures in most places remain in double figures. Into tomorrow then, and that early batch of showery rain clears away. The showers then become fewer and further between as we head through the day. The best of any brightness probably into the afternoon. Still one or two scattered showers coming in on what will be a gusty southwesterly wind for tomorrow. Gusts in excess of 30 miles an hour quite widely, and temperatures a wee bit cooler than today, peaking around about 12 or 13 Celsius. That's mid-50s Fahrenheit. Then into Sunday, well, still one or two showers, but not too many. I think more in the way of dry weather, a good few bright spells here and there, a bit of sunshine for many. The winds still coming in from the southwest, maybe not quite as strong and gusty as they'll be on Saturday, but temperatures just down a shade, 11 or 12 Celsius at very best for Sunday afternoon. Low pressure continues to dominate though as we head through the rest of the weekend and into the start of next week. The remains of ex-Hurricane Melissa are contained in this. It'll bring in very mild air, but some wet and windy conditions as well. So into Monday and Tuesday, some more widespread rain at times, some gusty winds. Look at the temperatures though, back up to 15 or 16 Celsius. A shade cooler later in the week, but still that breezy mix of sunshine and showers.
And that's it. We're going to leave you with those Halloween pictures. Bye-bye.